Hey, so I had a conversation with a friend recently about the Democratic primary for New York City mayor and Zohran Mamdani. Obviously, everybody and their mother is talking about him right now. And there's online conversation about hope, about whether or not we should have hope in electoralism, in Zohran, in this moment in politics. Here's what I have to say in terms of what hope this can bring. Because we will have many different political views, even as socialists, right? Generally, even just as people who want to have a better world. But what's really hopeful about this is not necessarily the politician himself, who I think is obviously very charismatic, a great communicator of ideas, and takes some pretty impressive stances, has some impressive projects in mind for New York City. But I think the real hope comes from the fact that this emerged from a grassroots movement, from volunteering and organization. What elections do is they bring awareness, education, connectivity, organization, and momentum to political movements. Even when politicians don't get elected, even when they lose, the movements that they can create through the visibility of their campaign and through the many people who join that campaign is a platform for the next action, for the next movement. And that's what people have to keep in mind. Yes, it is quite possible that Zohran doesn't accomplish half of his agenda, most of his agenda. It's possible that he becomes more and more of an opportunist or reveals himself as such over time. It's possible that people are over romanticizing him. I certainly wouldn't be out here posting about how we have to elect for New York City mayor a guy who has Lupita Nyong'o in a music video he did. I don't blame you if you do that, but I don't want to lionize and romanticize anybody that much, especially politicians. But that doesn't mean that we should look at this, especially for those of us who are hardcore leftists who only think revolution is possible through the barrel of a gun or outside of the electoral system altogether. That doesn't mean we should look at this and feel no hope. Because for one, the most progressive candidate in a major mayoral race, in a major political race, is in prime position to win. So the more that you support progressive change, the more you should be encouraged by that. I have many friends in New York City. I'm happy that they might get free buses, free electric buses at that. I'm happy that there might be universal childcare there. Those things make me happy. But more than just reformism and theories of change, I'm happy because thousands of people have joined organizations in the wake of this. And not just the DSA, not just the Democratic Socialists, other lefty organizations. People all over the spectrum on the left are excited about this and have now a new way that they can connect to average people. A new reason that they can meet up, a new thing that they can put on their mantle and say, people are more open to conversations about affordability. People are more ready to talk about capitalism and its ills. So there are lots of reasons to be happy, but we can't just look at elections as elections. And I think we can get caught in that trap and say, well, this is just the same thing as Obama or AOC or Bernie. Those elections, even of those candidates, represented moments in time when politics shifted a certain direction and everyday people were inspired in a certain direction and took that inspiration to do some type of political action. the Bernie movements of 2016 to 2020, as much as I have issues with Bernie now, although, I also agree with a lot of the things he does and says, the movements that he started, or that he was at the forefront of, I won't say started, at the forefront of in 2016 and 2020 with those elections, it built a lot of momentum. Nothing happens all at once. Everything happens progressively over time as momentum is built, as steps are taken. And we are at the point now, after all of those things, where this is one of the most left-wing candidates that has ever won a primary in a long, long time. And yes, that means something. And it's okay to feel hopeful about that. It's important, actually, because it means that you're paying attention to how the pendulum is swinging.